Welcome to the VC3 News Update. I am Shanette Hackshaw with the top local news stories making our newscast today. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves returned to the state recently after being out for 10 days on official business. One of the events he attended was the United Nations General Assembly held in New York last week. Speaking via telephone on NBC's face-to-face morning program earlier today, Dr. Gonsalves said one of the important things about attending the UN General Assembly is the diplomatic work you are able to do during the week that you are there, noting that although there are a host of meetings, you can do additional ones.
But you can then do important meetings. You can then do a lot of work, meeting groups, meeting individual leaders. Otherwise, you would have to do a lot more travel on Johnny P.
Yes.
And some of them could be precursors to making visits to particular capitals. I wouldn't go through all of them today, but among the highlights certainly were the historic meeting between CELAC and the African Union.
Mm-hmm.
The quartet of CELAC, that is to say, the current pro tempore president, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the immediate past pro tempore president, the president of Argentina, the incoming from the end of February next year, the president of Honduras, and of course, the chair of CARICOM, plus the leadership of the African Union, the president of the chair of the African Union, and other officials, including the chairman of the African Union Commission, which is headquartered in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia.
He said it was agreed on the establishment of a CELAC African Union Permanent Commission, and within that commission, the Africa, Brazil, Caribbean Diaspora Commission, which he disclosed is an initiative of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
In my capacity as pro tempore president of CELAC, also met a senior U.S. diplomat at the mission of the U.S. in New York to explore the possibilities of having a CELAC meeting with the United States of America. This would also be another first because CELAC has never formally met the U.S. government. There's been a tendency for hemispheric matters to take place, discussion to take place within the councils of the OAS. Well, that will still continue, but there are a number of matters which we need to deal with the whole of CELAC, outside of the context of the OAS.
Prime Minister Gonsalves listed migration as one of the issues that needs to be dealt with, adding that there were some countries that didn't participate at the highest level in the last Summit of the Americas that are critical to address the issue of migration. Dr. Gonsalves also announced that he was invited by the Vice President of Colombia, Francia Marquez, to the launching of the Reparations Committee in Colombia. The Cuban government has expressed full confidence in the government and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, despite the recent spate of attacks that have been directed to Cuban medical personnel on the island. This was revealed by Prime Minister Gonsalves as he spoke on NBC's face-to-face program.
No. Remember when these incidents were happening and I said that we also have to give consideration as to whether these incidents are isolated and each may have its own genesis, but whether they're not connected to foreign operators who want to destabilize the country, and in this case destabilize the strong relationships which exist between Cuba and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Of course, the Cuban government, despite these incidents, they have formally expressed full confidence in the leadership of this country, our people, and our government, and that we remain united by close ties of friendship and brotherhood and sisterhood.
According to Prime Minister Gonsalves, Cuban officials have indicated to him that if the purpose of the attacks is to intimidate them, they will continue to lend their support to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in its efforts to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and to make the lives of Vincentians better. Gonsalves said that they have reaffirmed their solidarity to the country. He also pleaded with Vincentians not to be sidetracked by elements that wish to create conflict and disorder.
And that they have reaffirmed that they will continue to lend what they consider modest solidarity. But it's not modest. It's tremendous, and more than that, Johnny P. It's unconditional,
right?
And they do have a love for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I'm pleading with all our Vincentians not to get sidetracked and just those elements we want to create conflict and disorder. Talk to the authorities. And importantly, if it's a family member, tell them they must stop that foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Stop that criminal kind of behavior against our Cuban brothers and sisters who are here doing good service.
Recently, there was a report made to the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force of arson made by a Cuban medical doctor. About 2 months ago, 3 medical professionals from Cuba were attacked in SVG. A Cuban physician was left in the intensive care after being slashed in the abdomen on July 1. Then, 2 Cuban medical professionals were attacked and injured, one of them chopped on the hands in Georgetown. Still in our local news stories, hundreds of unemployed Vincentians are expected to converge at the Kingston Baptist Church as Sandals Resort International hosts the second phase of its recruitment drive. The international resort is seeking to hire individuals in all categories during the job fair. Over the past few weeks, they have been involved in identifying individuals for managerial positions. The recruitment drive began yesterday, with which the Minister of Tourism, Carlos James, briefly spoke with the Managing Director for the Eastern Caribbean Sandals Resorts International, Winston Anderson. According to Anderson, 48 representatives of Sandals are engaged in the job fair.
This time around, we have some 48 folks from Sandals Resorts as here. And as you indicate, we're here from today until Friday to the general job fair, where we are looking for a very wide cross-sector of team members, future team members for all departments. We're interviewing this week middle managers, and our general team members.
Anderson went on to say that they are expecting to, over the next couple of days, interview thousands of Vincentians with the intentions of hiring about 800 for the opening of the beaches resort at Bookament.
We're just happy with the turnout so far, and we expect over the next couple of days to certainly see and interview, as you mentioned, thousands. And when we're open, we're going to be looking at some 800 team members at this beautiful resort. And I use the word beautiful because it's truly going to be a gem of a resort. One of the things that we are going to be doing is extensive training, extensive exposure to every single person. So I want to say to everyone that whether or not you have the experience or not, it doesn't matter. We're looking for experience, and we're looking for people with the warmth, the personality, attitude, etc., and that passion for the hospitality industry to grow. At Sandals, it's really about a career.
Anderson indicated that training is provided to all employees, so one can start at a low level and work their way up to manager. He also indicated what persons should walk with when coming to the job fair.
Well, we ask you to walk with your CV, walk with an ID. If you have any references, please take it along with you. So those are the basic things that we ask you to take with you.
And Minister James said that the job fair is exclusively for sandals and is targeting Vincentians who are looking for an opportunity. He said that the job fair was long awaited and expressed his elation at having Sandals International back on the island.
Where they're looking to recruit a number of Vincentians to really get the training that is required to operationalize the Sandals Resort here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at Buckerman Bay. I'm really happy that you're here. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is happy to have you and to welcome your team back. And of course, the thousands of people who will visit the Kingstown Baptist Church over the next few days is a clear indication that, we're ready and waiting for and anticipating the official opening of Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There are some exciting times ahead for tourism here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The job fair is expected to close on September 29 and runs daily from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Since 1980, World Tourism Day is celebrated on September 27 each year to create awareness on tourism's contribution to economies throughout the world. This year, the theme for World Tourism Day is Investing in People, Planet and Prosperity, Tourism and Green Investments. And today, the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture celebrated Global Tourism Day 2023 alongside the rest of the globe. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Ministry of Tourism will participate in the Caribbean's commemoration of World Tourism Day, which will take the shape of a virtual forum run by the Caribbean Tourism Organization, according to the Director of Tourism, Faylene King. In order to discuss viewpoints, best practices, and insights on the subject for World Tourism Day 2023. The event brought together working tourism experts from the public and private tourist sectors, academia, and regional and international development partners. The Caribbean Tourism Month events, which are held yearly in October, are now being finalized by the Tourism Ministry. The SVG Tourism Authority and the SVG Hotel and Tourism Association will collaborate on this year's event, which will once again aim to increase public understanding of the value of tourism to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And finally, on the local scene today, secondary schools throughout the state are once again competing for a place in the finals of the Lion Club South Flow National Secondary Schools Public Speaking Competition, with the commencement of Zone 1 preliminaries yesterday. President of the Lions Club South, Lion Janelle George, delivering brief remarks during the opening, said that the first competition was held by the JCI before being taken over by the Lion Club. She added that the organization is pleased to carry this legacy.
The National Secondary School Speaking Competition was first held under the auspices of the Lions Club St. Vincent South in 1999. However, this competition was first orchestrated by the St. Vincent JCs, now called JCI St. Vincent. So we are privileged to have continued this legacy, which we have now adopted and fashioned to be one of our flagship projects. The Lions Club St. Vincent South is part of a global entity, the Lions Club International, with over 100 years of service in more than 200 countries around the world. Our mission is to serve as prescribed by our Code of Ethics. Through this effort, we endeavor to empower Lions Club, volunteers, and partners to improve health and well-being, strengthen communities, and support those in need through humanitarian services.
Ms. George also gave an overview of a few of the initiatives which the Lion Club has undertaken during the past few years.
Some of our signature projects include, but are not limited to, the Farmer Support Project, where 20 farmers benefit from tools and equipment to aid and enhance their livelihood. The Sustainable Poultry Project, where 3 primary schools and 3 secondary schools have been identified for participation. We have our annual primary school Christmas party. We also have post-Christmas food basket project, where 25 or more vulnerable persons or families benefit from this project. Also, we have our annual tree planting in recognition of World Earth Day.
George said that the aim of the National Public Speaking Competition is to equip students with skills to think clearly and speak clearly, among others.
The aim of the competition is to equip students with the necessary skills to think clearly, speak persuasively, and to listen to the opinions of others critically and constructively. It also aids students in strengthening their skills in oral communication, speech, writing, and research.
With the completions of Zone 1 yesterday and Zone 2 today, Zones 3 and 4 will engage in competition tomorrow and Friday respectively. They will speak on the topics. Artificial intelligence development has brought with it several ethical dilemmas, including a disruptive effect on the structure of the labor market. In this sense, AI can easily be a bridge too far. And the upsurge in interest in space is fast becoming a preoccupation of the rich and does absolutely nothing to improve human condition on Earth, respectively. Those are our local news stories. Continue watching the VC3 News Update on Channel 114, where we'll bring you regional and international news.